Welcome students into the 12th science chemistry class. We are learning the colligative properties. That is the chapter number 2nd. In the solutions there are the 4 colligative properties. The 3 colligative properties we already learned, that are the lowering of vapor pressure, elevation in boiling point, depression in freezing point. Now this is the fourth that is colligative property, osmotic pressure. Now we will see in details about the osmotic pressure. Here we only that is write down this definition of osmotic pressure, but how the osmosis is there, or what is osmosis and what is the semi-permeable membrane, that we learn first, and then in details we learn the osmotic pressure. Now see the definition of osmotic pressure. The hydrostatic pressure. Now it is the hydrostatic pressure that stops osmosis is an osmotic pressure of the solution. That means when there is osmosis is carried out, if we apply the pressure on the solution side, then the solvent molecules flows from that means the solvent molecule which flows from solvent to solution then stops to flow. That is osmosis gets stopped, and that hydrostatic pressure is called as the osmosis. Now see about the osmosis first. Now this osmotic pressure is also used to determine the molar masses of the dissolved solutes. As the other colligative properties we learn, they are useful to calculate or determine the molar masses of the solute. See, in the similar way, the osmotic pressure is also used to determine the molar masses of the solute. Now let us learn about the osmosis. Now in biology, you may learn about the osmosis. Now when a solution and pure solvent or two solutions of different concentrations are separated by a semi-permeable membrane. Now this semi-permeable membrane have the pores, and it allows only to pass the solvent molecules through it. So when a solution and pure solvent or two solutions of different concentrations are separated by a semi-permeable membrane, the solvent molecules pass through the semi-permeable membrane or pass through this membrane into the solution. The solvent molecule pass through the semi-permeable membrane into the solution. If we separated the solvent and solution by a semi-permeable membrane, then the solvent molecules flows from solvent to solution through the semi-permeable membrane. Or if we separate the two different solutions having different concentration, then still the solvent molecules flow from dilute solution to more concentrated solution. So the solvent molecules pass through the semi-permeable membrane into the solution, or from more dilute solution to more concentration solution. Remember that only the solvent molecule pass through the semi-permeable membrane from solvent, pure solvent to solution, or from dilute solution to more concentrated solution. Is called osmosis. This phenomenon is called as osmosis. So the net spontaneous flow of solvent molecules into the solution, the net spontaneous flow of the solvent molecules into the solution or from more dilute solution to more concentrated solution. Remember that the net spontaneous flow of the solvent molecules into the solution or from more dilute solution to semi-permeable membrane. It is a film or it is the very thin membrane. It is a film such as cellophane, like the cellophane. It is the thin film which has pores large enough to allow the solvent molecules. It has the pores through which only the solvent molecules can pass. So, which has pores large enough to allow the solvent molecules to pass through them is called semi-permeable membrane. The solid molecules cannot pass through the semi-permeable membrane. Remember that. Only the solvent molecules pass through the semi-permeable membrane. The pores are large enough that they allow only the solvent molecules and not the solid molecules. So, solid molecules cannot pass through the semi-permeable membrane. Now, as a result of osmosis, what happened? As only the solvent molecules flow through the semi-permeable membrane from pure solvent to solution or from dilute solution to more concentrated solution. So, as a result, what happened? The liquid level of the solution side increases than the solvent side, or the liquid level of the more concentrated solution increases than the less concentrated solution or dilute solution. So, as a result of osmosis, the amount of liquid on the pure solvent side or on dilute solution side decreases. But which level increases? Solution side or concentrated solution side level increases, but the level of the solvent side or dilute solution side decreases. And amount of liquid on solution side or more concentrated solution side increases. Now, this is the result of osmosis. Now, let us learn in detail about the osmotic pressure, how we can measure the osmotic pressure and how there is the hydrostatic pressure is developed during the osmosis. Now, there is an experiment. Let us learn that experiment and let us learn about more in details about the osmotic pressure. Now, students, you can take the screenshot of this blackboard writing and write down the notes in a beautiful handwriting in your notes, so as we will check that when you will come into the college. So, take a screenshot and write down the notes in your notebooks. Now, let us learn more about the osmotic pressure. Now, pay attention, students, on the blackboard. Now, we can learn here from this figure the osmosis and osmotic pressure. So, the osmosis can be demonstrated. Osmosis can be, we learn, demonstrated with the experimental setup as shown in figure. This is the experimental setup. Into that, this is the Thysell funnel or Thysell tube, which is placed inwardly. After filling into that, the sugar solution and the semi-permeable membrane is tightly fastened on the, that is the mouth of the Thysell tube or funnel, and it is placed in the container in which there is the pure solvent, that is water is here. Now, this is the setup and this is the osmotic pressure that is shown into this, or we can measure from that. Now, osmotic pressure stops the osmosis, that is the flow of solvent molecules into the solution at a equilibrium when the rates of the that is rates of flow of and that hydrostatic pressure is called the osmotic pressure. Now let us learn what is into this experiment. Semi-permeable membrane is firmly fastened or tightly fastened across the mouth of the Thiessen funnel. Now this is the semi-permeable membrane which is tightly fastened. Now the solution of interest is placed inside the inverted Thiessen tube. Solution of interest means here that is the sugar solution. You take any solution of the, it may be non-volatile and non-ionizable solute. So the solution of interest is placed inside the inverted Thiessen tube. Here we are taken the sugar solution. This part of the tube, that means where there is the solution and there is the semi-permeable membrane. This part of the tube and membrane are then immersed in a container of pure solvent inwardly. Now this is immersed in the pure solvent present in the container. Here the pure solvent is water. As a result, some of the solvent, that is water, passes through the membrane into the solution. What is the result? After immersing that Thiessen tube or funnel inwardly into the container of pure solvent. Here the pure solvent is water. And what happened? As a result, some of the solvent molecules passes through the membrane into the solution. Now in this way, some of the solvent molecule passes through the membrane into the solution and it causes the liquid level in the tube rise. As the solvent molecule passes from this solvent into the solution, what is there? The liquid level in the tube rises or increases. So it causes the liquid level in the tube to rise. The liquid column in the tube creates hydrostatic pressure. As this column, the liquid column in this tube that creates or produces the hydrostatic pressure that pushes the solvent back through the membrane into the container. What happened? After creation of the hydrostatic pressure in this column, what happened? This hydrostatic pressure which is created here, it pushes the solvent molecule from solution into the solvent. Now see here, it causes the liquid level in the tube to rise and the liquid column in the tube creates hydrostatic pressure and that pushes the solvent back through the membrane into the container again. That is from solution to solvent again. And the liquid column or the column of liquid in the tube continues to rise and rise. And eventually one stage comes there. Eventually it stops rising. First it get rise and rise, but after some time the rise in the column of the Thiessen tube that stops. And what happened? At this stage hydrostatic pressure developed is sufficient when the level in the Thiessen tube column or the level of the column in the Thiessen tube of that liquid stops. At that stage hydrostatic pressure developed is sufficient. It is sufficient for what? To force the solvent molecules back through the membrane into the container. Now when that is the level of the liquid column in the tube stops, at that time the hydrostatic pressure is sufficient to force the solvent molecules back through the membrane into the container of solvent again. And by what rate? At the same they enter the solution. By the same rate when they first enter into the solution from that of the solvent, at the same rate that solvent molecules again go into the solution when the hydrostatic pressure is sufficient, or hydrostatic pressure pushes the solvent molecules from that solution again into the container at the same rate as they enter from solvent to solution. So, what is there? An equilibrium is thus established. That means the rate of passage of the solvent in the solution, and the solvent molecule from solution into the solvent again, the rate becomes equal. At that stage, the equilibrium is established. So, an equilibrium is established when rates of forward and reverse passage are equal. At that time, the equilibrium is established. When the rates of forward and reverse passage are equal, the height of liquid column in the tube remains constant. At that time, the height of this liquid column in the tube remains constant, and osmosis stops. At that time, at equilibrium, the osmosis stops. Then how we can measure the osmotic pressure? Let us learn. So students, take you first the screenshot and then write these notes, and we will see how the osmotic pressure is then measured. Now again pay attention students on the blackboard. Now here what is then this osmotic pressure? We learn the definition at the first, and again the same definition, the hydrostatic pressure that stops osmosis is an osmotic pressure, that is pi. Osmotic pressure is denoted by the symbol pi of the solution. So the hydrostatic pressure that stops osmosis is an osmotic pressure of the solution denoted by pi. Now the hydrostatic pressure is equal to the H rho G. Now here this H, now how the hydrostatic pressure is measured? It is equal to rho H rho G. Now H is the height of the liquid column in the tube. Rho is the density of the solution, and G is the acceleration due to gravity. So the multiplication of, that is the height of the liquid column in the tube, into rho, that is the rho is the density of solution, remember that by knowing the density of solution, and G is the acceleration due to gravity or gravitational force, acceleration due to gravity G. By knowing the values of all these three and on multiplication of this H rho G, we can calculate the osmotic pressure pi. So pi is equal to H into rho into G. Now in this way we can measure the osmotic pressure. Now students, if you understand very well what is this osmosis and how there is only the flow of solvent molecules from pure solvent to solution or from dilute solution to concentrated solution through their pores of the semi-permeable membrane is called the osmosis. Now if you understand this osmosis, what is this semi-permeable membrane and what is the osmotic pressure and how it is measured by using this experiment. Now if you understand this very easily and very nicely, then you can students like, share and subscribe this video, and again tell the another students to like, share and subscribe so that maximum students of of the 12th science can be benefited by watching this video, and they confidently write down their answers into the examination or board examination, HSC board examination. And again they can be solved the JEE, NEET and Maharashtra CET questions. So thank you for watching this video. Subscribe this video.